Welcome back everyone to another Bedrock add-on showcase, and today I am going to be doing a review for the Tinker's Construct Lite mod, not mod, add-on, and it's made by Feed the Beast, the actual guys that made Infinity Evolved and many other Java mod packs that you may be familiar with. But let me just go ahead and read the overview. So it says, experience Tinker's Construct on Bedrock. This Lite version lets you craft and customize your tools in the classic Tinker's Construct style. Over 250 unique weapons and tools, new crafting benches and tables, smelting and foraging, lots of new blocks and items, craftable armor sets. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it a try, and I have already owned this already. I did try to do a showcase before, then the idea got scrapped. But now that I have the patience that I can just be myself and just do the review on it, I'm just going to do it for science. So I'm just going to make a new world, which is called Tinker's add-on. That's probably like the best way I could name it. And this time I'm put on creative mode, put it on hard difficulty, and enable cheats this time because I'm definitely going to do that. And I think we are set to go. And we already know that this one has cheats. We don't get achievements. Kind of already know that. And to be honest, I actually just came from recording the More TNTs add-on. So I kind of have this feel of like, it's easy to like record and just do these experiments easily. It's like, I don't have to like pause and then do that. I could just go right on ahead and just do another one. It's kind of cool. So it says Tinker's Construct 2.0 has successfully loaded. A forgotten book whispers into existence at your feet. Curiosity draws you closer. Okay, let me just keep reading. Tinker's Construct add-on update 7 has successfully loaded. A changelog book drops at your feet. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Nice little lore. So we have the materials and new Lite, and I'm pretty sure I'm familiar with this. So since this is the Lite version, all they're just going to do is tell you like how the mod works. But if you ever played the Java edition version, it's quite similar. So you have this book here and it tells you like how to flip to the next page. But since I am on PC, I just use the mouse. But if you guys are using controller, you can just, use your control sticks and whatever. It sounds kind of weird for me just to say control sticks when I barely use them. But let me just flip the page. So it says, welcome to Tinker's Construct Lite, the official Bedrock edition of the original Java mod. This is the Lite version of the add-on. Okay, so it tells you, gives you a whole greeting. It tells you a way to how to make patterns, in which all you just need is some wood and some sticks to get 3. And the reason why these pattern craftings are very important, because this is the way how you make stencils, and then stencils make pieces, and then so forth. And then you be able to make a stencil table. Wait a minute, let me go back. Okay, how do I go back? Previous page, sneak. Okay, I'm trying to do it. Okay, sneak and right click. Okay, that's how it works. All right. So I think for the stencil, you have to put it in the stencil table. But it feels kind of weird though, because the stencil table, it's only like one box, but I think for this one, you gotta put it in the stencil table and it gives you like a whole array of things. And we can make a part builder, which just get a log and a pattern. I mean, I would say this is my first time actually doing a showcase for Tinker's Construct, because I didn't do the Java version. I only did, because right now I'm doing the Bedrock version. So most of this stuff is entirely new. But if you guys want to use this is your guide. It tells you like what stuff that you can make out of it. You can use grass as string. You can make different things. It's just a lot of stuff that you can make, because they said it's 250 types of things. But I don't want to make it seem like it's just a very heavy technical step-by-step tutorial. This is mostly just the experience. And we can make the Tinker's Gadgetry by Melvin unlocks a world of outrageous inventiveness. Okay, so there's another book that you can make. All right, so how I get out this book? I think we got to jump to get out of it. We're fine. Change logs. This is if you want to know like what changed, what been removed. I'll say just the nerdy side, but hey, I guess it's just best to have just in case if something doesn't go well. So now that we can view this, I think all we got to do is type stencil, because I know we got stencils. So there's different types. You got different stencil tables depending on what wood you use. So I'm just going to get a stencil table, the pattern. I know blank patterns are going to matter just for parts, just to show you guys the examples. Also there's I know there's like there's stencils, then you got the pattern builder, because that's one of them. But, or is it part builder? Part builder, yeah, definitely a part builder. So I'm just going to use different various colors or different blocks just to indicate like what's different. And I know there's like a forgery, tool forgery, but I'm not sure if that exists, but we only have two handles. So I'm just going to show you guys what they look like. So this is the stencil and the part builder. I mean, it would have been nice if they added like a crafting table variant where it allows you to, you know, you can hold your stuff in there while you can craft something else. But since this is Bedrock Edition, things tend to be different. And you see that how I just punched a piece of grass, right? And it just drops a plant fiber, which is very used to craft string, which it can be used for your bows or used for bending. So let's go try the stencil table. So we just remove this and then we just put our blank pattern in there. And then all we got to do is, let's see, because this is in fact the stencil table, but I think by us being in creative mode, it's kind of hard to see all the prompts. So let me just go to survival. So say hypothetically in realistic sense, we just use our blank pattern and we open these. Okay, there we go. So you got to look in your items and then you will see like there's different patterns. So we can make an axe pattern. We can make a bending pattern. It also tells you like where it's placed. Like you might need some more of these patterns to make like cleaver patterns, guard patterns. I mean, there's just a lot of ways you got to adapt to this. But luckily for me, this is all a learning experience. And let me just click all of these just to see if it uses everything that we got. So, and luckily for us, once you craft these, they're just kind of like just one and done. So you just make one of these and you're fine. You don't have to make them multiple times. You can keep reusing these as many times as you want, but it only converts the stone into the pattern and then you're fine. And I am very familiar with this because I definitely did use this multiple times. And let me just go back into creative mode because there is going to be some trial and error with this. So let me just type stone because I'm just going to get myself some stone. So let me just get stone, 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 just regular stone, and then go right back into survival. And we got the part builder. And let me see here. So we have, say, for example, a cleaver pattern. I want to see, does it work with stone? Okay. So yeah, we can make a stone repair kit apparently. Oh, okay. So we have to use cobblestone. Interesting. That's new. That's very new. So let me just put that back and just get cobblestone. Let me just type it again. Cobblestone. No, not infested. I don't want to infest my wooden patterns. So let me just use the part builder and I'm just going to remove that. Yeah, so it's a lot different. Usually you're supposed to put it in the part builder and it's like how I'm trying to put this in words. It's very similar, but it's a lot different. Like it's very different. So so I have to try to like get used to it. So we have like the stone pickaxe head. So we got to put a piece of cobblestone next to it. And I think since I did say you have to make these multiple times, I'm not sure what they mean by I actually got to make them multiple times because now they're actual items that be utilized versus you can just hold them off for later uses, just like the Java version. But I definitely have to try to isolate that from the Java version because that's what it feels like. So now we have the stone pickaxe head and the stone tool handle. Now, there's some other parts because in this book, it does tell you like how everything works. So we have the Tinker's crafting station. So I know we can make that because that seems easy to make. I mean, I can literally just craft this right now just by cutting a birch log or breaking one. And all we just need is a blank pattern. And what else was needed? Sometimes you gotta try to lock in the recipes. Sometimes it's so weird just to open the book and then do that. But this is all a learning experience, so it doesn't hurt to learn something new. So now we got the crafting table, and this is what I was talking about. You gotta have crafting tables, and then you gotta make another one. So you gotta get a crafting table, put at the bottom, then, yeah, that's what I was talking about, the crafting station. Most definitely. This is what I was talking about. This is the one that lets you hold on to your inventory, but I don't know if that actually works here. Let me try for science. Oh, that's unfortunate. It doesn't keep anything. That is so unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So let me just craft it and just put the log in there, and then we got ourselves the Tinker Station. And then the Tinker Station is the only way you can make your parts. Like you can see here, we can make iron axes, stone axes. This requires a string binding. Okay, so we need a string binding. So how do we make this? String. Okay, actual string. And there is a drowned over there. Hope he does not come on the surface. So let me just go and figure out that string. Okay, just combine 4 planks to make 2 string. Okay, that does not sound bad at all. So that means we gotta cut some of these or break some of these leaves, but we need a total of 4. Oh, we got ourselves a earth slime bean. Plant on grass to create earth slime island. Ooh, so we can actually grow an island? You just sown the earth slime bean, which will sprout a slime island here. Are you sure to proceed? It is advisable to cultivate slime beans in spacious open areas well clear of any significant structures. Caution, this action is irreversible. Okay, so it's going to generate a slime island, and look at that. That is pretty cool, but it's kind of like an instant island. Do we jump on these? Are these jumpable? Aw, that's so unfortunate. I wish we can like jump on them, and they also gave them a spawner. That is very weird. I know, Mr. Pig. I know you saw everything. I just summoned an island in a matter of like seconds. I kind of defy Minecraft physics. Hey, calm down. I just spawned him here. Okay, these slimes are being too aggressive right now. Alright, let's just go ahead and make the bind. No, leave me alone. Alright, let me change the difficulty because these guys are becoming they're just too aggressive. Like, just let me process the moment. So chaotic. That I find that very funny. Alright, so we gotta make string binding, which is just plant fiber, and then now we can put it in the stencil. It says pickaxe, stone pickaxe, and now we got ourselves a stone pickaxe. So now we can use this, and we're just going to try some examples with it. So we're just going to break some dirt. We can also make shovels, axes, tools. Like they say, 250 different types of tools. And I know there's like other ways, but it's just many things to do. So since this pickaxe has 238 durability, so I would say this one lasts a lot longer than a typical stone pickaxe. So this is pretty good. So if you use Tinker's Construct, your tools become a lot stronger. And they also say armor as well. So that's also something that I might have to keep my mind on. So look at this. 250 different types. You can also make a shovel, which is like a shovel and a pickaxe at the same time. That's pretty cool. You can make something magnetic where it pulls stuff to your inventory. I actually want to try something like this. Let's see. Let's see here. Bone pickaxe, undead, magnetic. All right. I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking right now. Let's see. Because in the book, it tells us that we can make other things. Because there's like a higher tier. We can make daggers, cleavers. Okay, if I go back, cleave your way to victory, the mighty cleaver. Okay, not only it functions as the ultimate defense. Okay, sharpness. Okay, mob heads. Cool. So it still does that. I'm trying to see here. So I think for tool damage, all you just got to do is repair it. It says you need a part builder, equip the main hand, click anywhere, use the repair kit. Okay, again, just read this. That's all I can tell you guys. There's going to be a lot of reading. You don't understand everything in one day. You're just going to have to take some time to get used to it. And I know you got to make grout, and I know grout is very useful for something. Okay, so I have to be mine of the book and the slime and the book and the grout. So let me just grab those. So let me just go back into creative mode and give myself a few books, like just 2 books, and one has grout, one is grout, and the other one is just a slime ball. And I think you can also get it from those slimes over there too, just to make one. Go to survival, then go to the crafting table, and then just craft. So we got ourselves the Tinker's Puny Smelting Light, and we also have the Tinker's Gadgetry Light. And these books give you even more information. It tells you that you can cook them in the furnace to make different things. It's pretty similar, but the difference is it's a smaller unit instead of a big one. So you can see that we could still smelt things, make things. Kind of cool. It's just a smaller version of the smeltery without making it very huge. You can also make iron, gold, diamond, and there's just a lot of reading. Just lots of stuff. But I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is at least make some things. Like, they said I can make armor. Oh, traveler sets. You can make the traveler's armor. Traveler's armor can be crafted using copper ingots and leather. Think of this as an upgraded regular leather set, which has slightly better defense. I might try that. Or the traveler's set can also be combined with gold ingots and a tinker's anvil to create the traveler's gold armor. However, this purely cosmetic won't provide any other benefits. You can also make a copper anvil? That's interesting. So I might try the traveler's armor. And you can make different types of brewery, like potion of slime, magma potion, and a venom potion. And you can also make an earth slime sling, like a slingshot. When used, looking at the floor, it'll fling the user up in the air. The longer you hold, the further you'll be launched. But it becomes with a risk, fall damage. Good to know. So let me just craft the traveler's armor. I know we could have just made the whole machine and such, but again, these books are going to help you a lot since I'm just showing you guys the experience. Because right now you can already see there's a slime island right in front of us. That's enough proof that you can actually learn a lot more. I just don't want to keep spoiling it for everybody else. So let me go ahead and make the traveler's armor. So let me just go back into, let me just clear my inventory since it's very messy. All right, so cleared, go into creative mode. Man, this is so weird. Gotta actually flip through all this. I'm just going to get the earth slime sling, and let me just get some leather, and copper. Give me some copper ingots. And look at that. Copper Tinker's Anvil. Let me see what this looks like. Interesting. It just has a copper head on it. That's kind of cool. So now let's begin making the armor. So I think all we got to do is, like for this one's for the traveler's vest. And then I gotta, let me just do it this way. Let me type traveler. There we go. So this is how you make the pants. This is how you make the boots. And I know there's something else. The traveler's goggles. Glass pane. All right, so we got to make glass pane. So let me just go back in the creative one more time and get myself some glass panes, or just 2. I mean, this is quite intriguing, like just to play on Bedrock Edition and just doing a showcase like this. And then let me just try to make the goggles. Come on, let me make the goggles. And now we got the goggles, and we can just equip this on. Yep, they're right. It does have slightly better defenses than just regular tunic. But look at us. It kind of reminds me of Create a little bit. Like, looks like we're working with Create. But there's just a lot of things that I can show you guys. Like, lots of things. But, again, it's just all about exploring at your own leisure. And I think you might be able to harvest that spawner. But I think that might be everything, I believe, unless you guys really want to see how the machine operates and how it works. I just gotta see. So if we use this slime sling, let's see how it works. They say, wait, it's charging. Do I need like actual slime balls? I probably didn't read that thoroughly with the book. Let me just get the gadgetry again. There we go. So let me just read the slingshot again. Let's see. All right. It says, when used, looking at the floor, it'll fling the user up in the air. Okay, looking at the floor. I mean, I'm really trying to see how that works, like, scientifically. Like, do I have to, like, do something? Like, I'm looking at the floor exactly. I don't think it works. Unless I'm doing something completely wrong, or I probably need actual, like, slime balls. Let me just get some slime balls, and let me go to survival, and let's see. Nothing. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I think Ace probably knows this, but I never used the slime sling in my life. Like, never. It says it's charging, but it's not working. I'm actually using an item, and I just don't understand it. Strange. Yeah. Okay. Crafted when used, whitelist, looking at the floor. It'll fling the user up in the air the longer you hold. I mean, I've been looking at the floor. What are you talking about? I'm looking right at the floor and nothing worked. Like, what's this? Nothing worked. So I guess I might came across a bug or something, or I must be triggering something wrong. But I think the last thing I'm going to do now is go ahead and make the furnace or the smeltery. So let me just type the smeltery. So we have the melter, because that's important. We have the casting table, and we have the basin. And I also know it comes with those little cans, like these little molten copper cans, because these are going to be very important for most things. And I know there's like iron copper cans, or is it tin copper cans? So let me see. Okay. So we have diamond. Ooh. Oh, Tinker's Mighty Smelting. Okay, let me see this. Okay, I think this one tells you that you can make like different anvils, netherite. I guess netherite is like the highest one. You can also add you can also add trims on your traveler's armor and possibly on your tools. Interesting. But let me just try it. So we have the melter. It's this unit, and then all we need is lava. So I gotta type lava, a can of lava. Where does this lava go? Okay, why am I opening the book? Okay, that's kind of cursed. I don't know what happened there. I'm trying to put some lava in this joint. Do I have to shift and click? Is that how it works? No? All right. Yeah, this is very messy. Book. Okay, I know, guys. Trying to process this. All right, so we have sear blocks, furnace. You can make different designs. Okay, fuel. Throw in some coal or charcoal to get the fire going. Oh, okay. The bar tells you how much it remains. Melt some ore while fueled to toss in raw ore like iron. Watch as the molten metal fills the tank. And I think that's when you use those copper cans. that definitely explains that. Okay, now that's starting to make sense. So we gotta put coal or charcoal in there. So I'm just gonna put in some coal or charcoal. There we go. So you can see that we can put coal, charcoal, just gotta keep it filled up, and you can see the little bar right there. And then I'm just gonna try, say, I'm gonna try iron, for example, like it said. Just get some raw iron and just put it in there. And you can see it immediately boils. I don't think it has, I don't think it has like casts or anything, like you have to cast it. But this is the casting table, and this is the casting basin. And I think you gotta use those, like I said, the empty cans to like do the work. So I think you can like pour it in there. I don't know if that's how it works. I'm still entirely new to this, but you can see that this can be a learning experience. Like, like if you're really interested in doing this, let me figure this out. All right, so I think all we gotta do is like put I think all we gotta do is like put like some sort of casing on it, because I know there's like some specific casing that we have to use. So let's check. So we boil, and then you got a thing, hang a mountain, tinker. Okay, so you got copper cans. For larger volumes, it's buckets. So I guess buckets is better just to hold more stuff, like a whole bucket of it. And then, all right, then you got to make a casing. So, okay. Ooh, so it says sand casts. All right, so I think this is something. So you got to get a sand cast. So craft a sand cast using 1 piece of sand, place sand cast in table, add stone part. Okay, so it's pretty similar. All right, so that makes a lot of sense, and I'm trying to see where this book went. Okay, the book is out of my inventory. So we got to get a piece of sand. So a piece of sand, not suspicious sand. Man, this is a whole learning experience. So when you put a piece of sand in there, you get 4 sand casts. Then we got to get a stone part. Stone. Let me see. Can we get like a stone part? There we go. Like a stone pickaxe head, for example. We put the part right in here, and then we put our head in here, or any part. And then all you have to do is use a copper can. There we go. And then we click. Is that how it works? I hope I'm doing it correctly. I hope. Or wait a minute, it probably made a print on it and then we poured in there? Oh, okay. Okay, now it's making sense. Now it's starting to make sense. So if you ever want to make something, you got to use stone parts. Say, for example, you want to make a cleaver. You're going to have to put your sand part or sand cast in there, and then you got to put the cleaver in there. And then once you put the cleaver in there, you remove the cleaver because it makes a mark on it. And then you got to use a can, and then you pour it in there, and it gives you that part. This is so different. This is very different. Like, this is like, you don't have to make a whole other cast. It's like, my brain is trying to process this. But I would say the science behind it is very different. Like, it's very different from the iconic Tinker's Construct, where you have to build like a big multi-block machine, and then you have to make a lot of metals. This here, it's a very small unit, and this is why they call it the Lite version, because you only have 1 unit in here, and then you have to make use of what you got. And then you can still get your tools, and you can still get your cleavers and get your pickaxes. And I think that is going to wrap up for the showcase, because it is kind of working my mind a little more, because there's just a lot of new things with Tinker's Construct, and I barely use Tinker's Construct in senses like this, but it's still pretty interesting to learn something new. But if you guys enjoyed this showcase or find it helpful in some cases, then I'm very thankful, because the only thing I'll tell you is read the books, because the books will tell you everything. Books give knowledge. It doesn't make you look, I'm just going to try to reframe this. Just because you read, it does not make you cool. Reading makes you more knowledgeable and more aware of the mod, or the add-on, or whatever the case may be for any situation. If you read something, it means you're more knowledgeable, or you're just more aware of it. But until then, I'll see you guys next time with another add-on showcase, and it's probably more lighter than before, instead of just being heavily on my mind, where I had to try to remember the difference between Java and Bedrock. But until then, see you guys next time.